is right around the corner, and this is Leah Piper with Sex Reimagined.
And Dr. Willow Brown, your Taoist expert here at Sex Reimagined. We have such an incredible, fun 7 tips and practices for you to make 2024 way more juicy, way more intimate, and way more connected.
That's right. So tune in, turn on, and fall in love with your girls.
Welcome to the Sex Reimagined podcast, where sex is shame-free and pleasure-forward. Let's get into the show.
Okay, so Willow, the new year is just right here. We are headed into a fabulous 365 days around the sun. And I don't know about you. I mean, I'm sure I can guess, but I want more passion. I want more sex. I want more creativity. I want all the things that make life juicy.
I don't think there's anyone out there who doesn't want more of that connection, that intimacy, that rapture, that feeling of being so in love with life that everything flows to them with ease and with grace.
Yeah, so it's like, it's so easy to get in a rut, especially if you've been in long-term relationships, or even just like, maybe if you just even have a fuck buddy who you get into a rut with, I remember having a buddy like that, God, decades ago. And it was like every Sunday we would watch the game, and then we would have the typical sex. And, it was sweet. It was nice. It was something I counted on every Sunday. But, even those relationships need a little bit of spark, some shift in the routine.
Yes, absolutely. That's why we have put together for all of you lovely listeners out there 7 fabulous ideas and tips and practices that you can get into with your fuck buddy or your long-term partner or anyone in between.
That's right. And so we've got 7 tips for you, and we're going to just start randomly. We don't really have these organized from like the best to the almost best. We're just going to float around. So first one we're going to share is makeout night. Now, Willow, why is makeout night so hot?
Makeout night because it's like this is just making out. There's no sex. There's no penetration allowed. So it's a little bit of a teaser for both of you because all you can do is make out. I had one makeout partner once. He called it tongue fucking. He's like, it's like we're fucking with our mouths. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Let's break that down a little bit, And so we started talking about it, and then we would do it more. And then we would just be like, we'd start to give voice to it. And it just rose the whole sexual energy. Like the tension grew, And then the next time we did get together and have sex, it was so much more heightened, so much more energy was behind it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. It increases sexual tension. And I think when we've got sexual tension in a relationship, we have more attraction, we have more eros, we have more, it's like orgasming is so much more intense and more delicious and more yummy when there's sexual tension. And I think one of the ways to activate that is like the makeout night. You have rules. You have to pretend like you're in middle school. Do y'all remember when you were in middle school and you weren't allowed to have sex, or even high school, or I don't know what age you started, but like sex was off the table and you could kiss for hours. Oh my God. Do you remember how hot it was to get felt up? Someone's like feels you up over your shirt, and then they kind of make their way slowly underneath your shirt. And there's just this way of like, remember the first time you got a hand job? There are these ways with which we can make out that help us connect to our erotic innocence and supercharge the sexual tension. And I love this idea that you mentioned about like kissing the way you imagine fucking that person right now. Like the way that you would go in and out with your tongue. There's all these ways with which you can really take kissing to the next level.
Yeah, kissing. I mean, there's probably we came up with, I think, 21 different styles of tantric kissing, my last lover and I, and it was so powerful. I mean, I wrote them down. We're going to write a book on it. Maybe I still will one of these days, but like you can do so much with kissing that you don't even think about. So start to reimagine what's possible. Bring some fruit into the equation. Bring a little bit of blueberries or strawberries into the equation, and also do like energetic kissing versus like full on down their throat kissing. Like,
Yeah.
play with the different levels of pressure and speed, and see what happens, and see if you can bring kissing into a heightened state in your body. See if you can feel the kissing that you're doing with your mouth, in your heart. See if you can feel it in your yoni or your lingam. See if you can feel it all the way down to your toes. Like, can you move the energy of kissing to different places?
I love that. And we'll be doing a whole course on kissing, but I'm going to give you a few little tantric tips from my class on kissing. There is tonguing, there is nibbling, there is the inhalation breath and the blowing breath. So think about that the mouth has four quadrants. You want to nibble, kiss, tongue, suck. That inhalation breath is the sucking. And so if you just do one corner of the mouth and then maybe get to another corner and then another corner, there's so many creative ways. And so there's different modalities, and you want to play with that. You know, that exhalation breath, that's a cool breath. So if you lick the side of a neck and then do a little blowing breath, you're going to cool and create goosebumps. All of that is yummy shivers. So moving on to number 2, we have a date night where you talk about your falling in love story.
So sweet. I mean, those moments of falling in love, they're so magical. And once they're there, they're there. But if you reignite them by talking about them regularly and remembering the moments, it really brings the magic into your current relationship as it is today.
When you reminisce and you savor the reminiscing of a wonderful experience, you activate the brain chemistry from that experience. So it's like your brain gets to experience it all over again. And you'll notice right away, like your heart opening. I believe it was Stephanie who we've had on the show. Go check out her episode. She is a professor at the University of Michigan, and she teaches educators and therapists about, how to counsel people in sexuality. And she's the one that gave us this great idea. And I love it. She was talking about a client who they fell in love in Paris, like something like totally romantic. And they sat and had dinner and they just talked about that beautiful experience. And when I think about this date night, I mean, there's so many experiences that Matt and I can share about our first year together. And then there's getting out the phone and flipping through those pictures. Like, there's a handful of pictures of those first few months with me and Matt where we are on full display with our falling in love experience. And the other day we were in the hot tub, and it just kind of happened by accident, but we were sitting close to each other and we were kind of kissing, and then we moved our cheeks together. And then when you move the other way, your lips brush against each other again. And then you go and your other cheeks mush. And there's this picture of us doing this kiss. I'm probably giving a lot of weird sound in the microphone right now as I'm moving my head to side to side. But it's like one of these kisses that is so scrumptious to me. And I can't help but like smile and melt. And we haven't done that kiss in so long. And I have like this, it's on Instagram, y'all. If you want to go stalk my Instagram account, at Leah Piper _ More Love Works, you can find this picture. And if I can remember to do so, I'll post it somewhere again. But it's yummy.
Oh my God. I love that. I love that story. And I love that it spontaneously happened for you guys in the hot tub the other day after just the seed was planted, and that's what we're doing right now with all of you is we're planting some seeds. You don't have to take every single one of these ideas and do them, but just let them marinate inside of you and then let them come through organically and happen on their own, or plan them out. Date night to talk about when you were falling in love. You kind of want to plan that one out to get it on the calendar.
Yeah, you want to think about it. Yeah. And I mean, like, even whether it's like the first time you met, and maybe the first time you met, it wasn't sparks, maybe you didn't even like each other. I've got friends who like did not like each other at all when they first met. And like for the first number of weeks, they were in the same sort of positive sexuality club. And they were both presenters, and they just rubbed each other wrong. And then about a month later, I think she was having a party and had everyone over, and it was like something changed, and then the shine turned on. It was like the sun came out and they saw each other differently, and they eventually got married. And they have a great love affair. They're my friends who taught me the idea that you could wake up every morning and say, today I marry you. You know, it's like, today I do. Because every day in marriage is sort of like a choice. You can I do, or you can go fuck off.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. And there have also been times where they woke up and go, today I don't marry you. Today I need a sovereignty day. Doesn't mean I don't love you, but I don't want to be married today. I'm going to the beach.
Oh, that's sweet. I love that. So for those of you who are married out there and needing to bring some more fire and some more chi, some more spark into your marriage, wake up every day and try that.
Okay. So number 3 is sacred spot massage, doing a tantric ritual, making a special night or afternoon to really spend intentional time being present, being vulnerable, being real, touching each other with a lot of intention, separating the roles of giver and receiver, where you really show up in a worshipful attitude in the way that you want to love your partner.
Mm-hmm. This one you're going to want to get on the calendar and plan out as well. You're going to want to make sure that you both have about 2.5, maybe 3 hours of time where you can just really drop into deep presence with each other, and, you know, have a playlist ready and have your scents and your candles and whatever it is that you want to have ready to really awaken your senses with your partner. And then go into this ritual with intention, go into this practice with, you know, maybe your intention is to just bring more energy to your relationship, to bring more intimacy to the everyday experience that you have together. And with that intention, then bringing your sexual energy to that. And, you know, sometimes there's a lot of pressure to bring a lot of heat and arousal and sexual energy to a session like this. But if you can take the pressure off of yourself around that and actually just be present with what is, it's really just about being together. And as you do go in to the vajayjay and explore the sacred spot, you're going to want to bring all that presence and all that intention into your lover's beautiful sacred temple.
Yeah. And I think that there's a way with which you can stroke a cock with a really worshipful sense of presence that really can move somebody. Most men have never had anybody really worship their beautiful cock, that vajra, which translates to thunderbolt, and that lingam, which translates to wand of God. I mean, there's a really cool way that language can come into play with all of this. So I recommend you check out our episode on dirty talk, pillow talk, and love languages. You'll get a lot of great ideas in terms of how you use language in your body to express and communicate. Also, if you want, we've got a number of courses on different tantric practices. We've got one on how to give a man a tantric evening and experience. We've got another course on root chakra work, prostate massage, sacred spot massage for men. We've got the same types of products for women. We've got a G-spot and a cervical orgasm course, including a course it's all about worshiping the goddess, and that is giving a woman a tantric evening where it's all about her. So check those out because they're yummy and they're really affordable.
Yeah, so all of those courses that we've created for you are available on demand, and the people that we've had go through those courses have chimed in, have emailed us, and have let us know like so much more connection, so much more power is being built inside of their intimate experiences. And they have a new relationship to their sexuality because of these practices, which is true for Leah and I as well. I mean, that's why we do this work, because it creates a new relationship with the most potent creative life force energy that you have access to over and over and over again.
Yes, it really, really does. Number 4 is your desires are safe with me. And I first learned this practice with Ian and Jaya of the Erotic Blueprints. And it's a practice that probably is around 40 minutes to go back and forth with your partner. And you ask your partner this question: tell me a desire that you have. Now, the person then goes I've always wanted to try anal, or I long for more intimacy, or I love it when someone sucks my toes. I don't know. What other desires, examples would you have, Willow?
Nibbling behind the ears, or, doing it at a different position or a different place in the house than I've ever done it before.
Yeah, like I love having sex on the lunch hour. I love taking a shower together or a hot tub together. I desire free time, alone time. So your desires are never wrong. And after your partner tells you a desire, you want to use 4 different responses. So one would be, well, thank you. And when you say thank you, it's like, okay, I understand your desire. And then another response would be, could you clarify that? Meaning you don't quite understand. They've tried to communicate their desire. And sometimes we need practice. I mean, even just now, just being off the cuff with Willow here, there's a part of me that's like, oh, I want to say that differently. And so having a chance to go, okay, would you clarify that for me? Another one is simply say it again because I didn't quite get it all, right? Like sometimes we can space out and we weren't really there for all of it. And then the other response, the last response choice is summarize that, which means, hey, bottom line it. You're going on and on and on for 20 minutes. Can you like bottom line this for me? Summarize that. Yeah. And then you want to close. Once it feels like you're all done, you want to say something like, your desires are safe with me.
That's so beautiful to have your desires witnessed. Without them being judged, without them being, questioned or looked at sideways. There's something so healing about just having your desires witnessed. And if your partner is willing to meet your desires, it could be something that you've never had met before in your life. It opens up a whole new connection, not just between you and your partner, but a whole new set of neural pathways within your own brain and your own body. So it really shows you what you're capable of, and that builds confidence.
Yeah, the reason why I really love this practice is because, and I really recommend you open the practice and really refer to it as your desires are safe with me, because we need to know that from our partners. It's a way to get to know each other more. It's a way to have a conversation about sexuality and desire at large. And desire can be sexual or non-sexual. What desire is really about is being in touch with your senses and feeling like your senses are alive and they're a part of what makes life alive. And when we can be honest with our desires, we become more free, even if those desires are never, ever fulfilled. Sometimes the thing that makes desire the most beautiful thing is the anticipation for it. It's the wanting of it. Many times someone will actually have a desire fulfilled, and it was actually the longing, the wanting, the exploration of what it would be like to have it that is higher and more heightened than the actual fulfillment of someone licking your toes. It's the wanting someone to lick the toes. It's the imagination that arises about what that wet tongue or supple kiss with the lips is going to feel like. And it also takes the pressure off your partner. Well, one, it informs them of the desires they didn't know you had. 2, you want to make sure that neither one of you are feeling pressured that you have to fulfill them. It's really about building intimacy, honesty, communication, and understanding. And it could be years before you decide to really move forward on fulfilling a type of desire. For instance, anal can be a journey that one partner might really want, and another partner has to take a lot of time before they're open to exploring that. It could be years even. But to have that kind of closeness, to know that your desires, no matter what they are, is being held safe and sacred in someone else's hands, really brings together a sense of closeness. And I think that's what really strong relationships are made of.
Absolutely. And, I think also like with that example for anal sex, I think there is also a way in which you can let your partner know that you are becoming more open to the idea as that is happening for you, just by taking your judgments off it and being in the pure witness state of it, you are already delayering and deconstructing the fears that are holding you back from that particular adventure in sexuality. And I know that, from my own experience, like that would have gone a long way with some past partners if they had been hearing from me that their desire was safe with me and that I didn't have judgments against it and I wasn't recoiling against it, that I was, just being in the witness of it. And that alone was allowing me to open up to the possibility.
Yeah, cool. I think too, what's really important about this exercise is you're not commenting on what your partner just shared in terms of the desire. Yeah. You're listening to their desire. If you have a response, it's either thank you, clarify that, say it again, or summarize that. It's still allowing them to complete their communication around their desire. And you're not saying, oh, I have a desire that's similar to that. Or, oh, wow, that brings up a lot of stuff for me. You're not doing any of that. It's just you're deeply, deeply listening. Now, at the end of the exercise, you're reiterating your desire is safe with me. And you would both answer this question. Say something that's true for you right now. So your partner's just shared all these desires. You've just shared all of these desires. And now what's a moment where you each have a chance to say, what's true for me right now is. And it could look like something like, what's true for me right now is I feel closer to you. I feel humbled by you sharing your desires. I also feel a little scared by some of your desires because I want to play those out with you, and yet some of them I'm not sure that I'm ready to. What's true for me right now is that I trust myself more now that I've had a chance to say all of this out loud, which allows me to trust you more. What is something that might be true for you right now, Willow?
What's true for me is that this is such a beautiful thing to do with really anyone in your life. You don't have to have an intimate partner to do this practice. You could do it with a close friend. You could do it with somebody that, is working towards similar goals as you, whether they are, goals in abundance or goals in love or goals in anything in life. So I think what's true for me is that this practice is available to everyone.
Yeah. And then after that's complete, give each other a hug and just reiterate your desires are safe with me. And thank each other for getting closer. So that was number 4. Number 5 is a fun one, and that is love notes, a 30-day challenge. So we challenge you to every day put a Post-it note with a sweet message somewhere where someone important to you can find it. And I love Post-it notes because I already have the sticky, and you don't get to write a poem that's 100 pages long. You just are basically writing a few words, maybe a sentence.
Yeah, this is actually a practice that's really sweet to do for yourself more than them, actually. So what you can do, you can share the love note with them. You can put the Post-it, like hide it in their shoe or put it in their, their medicine cabinet or whatever it is. But all the little notes that you're writing to them, you want to, at the end of that 30 days, you want to actually give all those notes to yourself. Those are the notes that you want to really take into your own heart and love yourself for.
I love that. Yeah. In fact, maybe you don't have a partner. So you write yourself these love notes and you put it somewhere where, oh my gosh, I forgot I put that on the mirror. Or, oh my gosh, I forgot I put that on my steering wheel. Or, oh my gosh, I forgot that I put that on the car door window. Or, oh my gosh, I forgot I put that in the mug cabinet.
It's really, yeah, it's really for any relationship that you want to see heightened. So it could be a partnership, could be an intimate partnership, or could be a relationship with yourself, could be a relationship with your ex, someone that you share kids with or a dog with, it could be somebody that you live with, could just be a housemate. So anyone that you want to really see the relationship build and grow and get stronger and better, you write a little love note or like note for those 30 days, and you don't even have to give it to them. You can just be in the appreciation for who they are and what they are to you in your life for 30 days. And if you would like to give it to them, then go for it. And definitely give it to yourself at the end.
Some of the ones that I really love doing are like, your butt is so cute. Or I love your ass. Or, like you can be pretty explicit.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't always have to be very polite. I think that can be really hot between lovers. So get creative with this. Sky is the limit. And get creative in terms of where you put them. So they're kind of a surprise. Now, this is a suggestion from Lala Jones, or Lala Loves. She was a fabulous guest we had. She's an erotica author. You can go ahead and check out her episode. We'll have it in the show notes. And she gave us and you this suggestion, which I have really enjoyed, which is turn on porn, but don't watch it. Listen to it as you're making love or having sex. And there's something really unique about what happens from a sensory experience when you're hearing the sounds of sex versus having the visual stimulation that's kind of taking you out of your body. When you're listening to it, your imagination gets activated. Your skin sort of responds to the sounds that you're listening to. And I think that especially for estrogen-filled brains, this is going to awaken arousal and turn on in a way that's very different from watching it.
Yeah, there's actually an app called Dipsy. And on that app, you can, it's all audio. It's all audio porn, and it's pretty fun. It's like fun little clips, fun little stories, and they've got a subscription plan. I think you can check it out for the first month for free. So make sure that when you do your free trial, you've got plenty of time to play with yourself or your partner. Definitely there is something that gets really activated in the brain when we're hearing those sexual sounds that then gives us ideas around, I wonder, it starts to open up the synapses and the reimagining of your own brain. Like, God, I wonder what they're doing. Gosh, I wonder how I could bring my own body into a scenario or a situation or a friction or a dance or a movement that would bring that sound to life. For me.
Love it. Number 7 is getting out of the routine. What are some ideas? What are some things that you can do to break up? I don't want to call it boring routine, but let's face it, sometimes it's boring.
Yeah. As couples, especially living together, we really get into the similar. Like every day we eat at the same time. We always sleep on the same side of the bed. You shower first and then I get in the shower. It's like we get into these routines and these ruts that do become they're so predictable that there's nothing exciting about them. So how can you start to shift things within your partnership, within your relationship? Whether you live together or not, it's like, do something surprising, do something out of the box, do something wild and crazy that your partner would never expect you to do.
What this reminds me of is be again like a kid, like a younger person. Mm-hmm. Like I remember I had so much more adventurous sex when I was in my 20s. Mm-hmm. There's so many other things that I had the libido for, that I don't know if it was because I was dating more people or what it is that comes with being young. But this is an invitation to imagine you're young again and filled with adventure, and life hasn't gotten so serious and so bogged down with raising a family and going to work, and you're in the routine. And it's like the only conversation you ever have anymore is who's picking up the dry cleaning and what do you want for dinner and, who's taking the kids to school. It's like, we don't even have interesting conversations anymore sometimes in marriages. It's like we're just getting through the day and we're connecting over the things we have to connect versus really being
connected
together.
Yeah.
Yes.
So definitely some ideas that you can do. It's like start sexting your partner in the middle of the day. If you're not doing that, that'll be a fun surprise for them. Start flirting with them, sending them little sexting emojis of start getting some juices flowing in that department. definitely like get in bed on their side of the bed. Say, hey, you're sleeping on the other side tonight, and just like force a little bit of shift, a little bit of change for them. Matt and Leah have a cute little ritual where, Matt the toothpaste on Leah's toothbrush for her. So try that if you haven't done that before, or
Yeah.
if there's like so-and-so always makes the coffee, like why don't you switch it up? You get up and make the coffee instead. Or if you always have date night, and maybe you're not living together, but you always have date night on Friday and Saturday nights, but the rest of the week you don't really see each other. Just shift that, go out to dinner or have an intimacy date on a Monday night. Do something different.
Yeah, one of you take the time to go research a new babysitter if you haven't had a reliable babysitter in a while. There are websites that vet people out who have references, who've been to babysitting courses, who you can really trust to watch your kids so that you can have some time together. And then start to remember the fun things to do. Because most of us, I think, find a favorite position where nobody's back hurts. And everyone's going to come. So you just stick to that. But that needs to be shaken up. And so here's some ideas. Blowjobs in the shower. There's something about having the warm water splash down on you. You've washed everything. Everything's going to taste good and smell good. Yeah, whether that's cunnilingus or fellatio, there are creative ways with which you can get into water and have really beautiful, epic oral sex. Now, if you're going to have sex in the shower, I recommend making sure there's lube in the shower with you. In fact, there's lots of people who the only place they feel comfortable doing a little bit of anal play is in the shower. And you could go down on your partner and, with a finger, tickle the prostate gland a little bit. And that could be maybe one of the best blowjobs they've ever had.
Absolutely. There is something powerful about getting into the prostate while giving a blowjob that just heightens the whole experience for pretty much every penis owner I've ever met.
Yeah. And there's a way with which you kind of match your rhythm with the stroke to the prostate. You kind of want to match whatever you're doing to his cock, to their cock, with whether that's with a hand or with a mouth. Now, this is one that's very reminiscent to me of being sort of a teenager or younger person, which is sex in the car. Remember when you would have sex in a car? And I think this is really fun to like pull off the side of the road, right? You may not know where kids make out anymore in their cars, and that doesn't matter. Just find something kind of private where you can, put the car in park, maybe turn it off, or just like the ignition is turned the other direction so that you can have
the music going.
And steam up those windows, people. Again, a great place to have oral sex, a great place to have sex. Now, granted, you may not have the flexibility you used to have when it comes to small spaces. So nobody throw your back out.
Yeah, something so fun and like kind of naughty about sex in the car, because you could get caught, you could get seen. And
that's true.
Most of us are driving bigger cars though, so
yes.
Put the back seat down, flatten the whole bed if you can.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, make it comfortable. If you can plan it out, like put a mattress pad back there. Why not?
So have fun, have an adventure in the car and do something sexual. Even if that's not full on sex, find other ways to bring some sensuality into the road trip.
Absolutely. So all of these are fair game and you can get really creative with them. And I imagine that you have some fun ones to share with us that we have not put on our list. So please do send us an email or chime in on social media and let us know what are some other fun ways to shake things up, to shift things within your intimate relationships, and to get a little bit more chi, more juice flowing between you.
Now, Willow, I know you've got friends who do naked Shabbat, which I think is awesome. Will you say more about that?
Yeah, so Shabbat, I think it happens once a month, every Saturday or something like that. I'm not Jewish, I'm not sure, but it could be anything. Like one Sunday out of a month, maybe you spend the whole day naked together. You just crank the heat, if it's the winter or the summer, enjoy the sun, and you spend the day naked together. You just do the whole day that way. You eat breakfast naked, you eat lunch naked, you lounge around and read your books together naked. You maybe do a little yoga together naked. Hopefully do some making love together naked. So.
Yeah, I love that. I was thinking you could meditate together naked. I love this naked Shabbat where like it's a ritual, you know, you're saying prayers before dinner, you're lighting candles, and you're in your birthday suit and you just bring sort of this sacred ritual thing. And I love the idea of that you can spiritualize anything with sexuality, including church. Now get this, Willow just touched on it. I have friends who every Sunday, they let everyone know they're going to church. And what that means to them is they're not available until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And church for them is back in the bedroom where they make love all morning long. And that is inclusive. That doesn't mean they're having penetrative sex until 3 o'clock on Sunday. They are in the act of making love to each other. They're bringing breakfast to each other in bed. They're taking long baths together. They're visiting and talking and massaging each other and loving each other and making out with each other and having, sure, of course, intercourse. But this is their day to worship one another and to celebrate the week together by having a long, glorious Sunday morning. You don't have to go to a temple to experience church. You can go right back to your bedroom and have church as long as you want it. So I highly, highly recommend that. You know, I had a friend. Okay, this was like back in Tantra school, years and years, probably 20 plus years ago. And it was our advanced level 3 and they were doing sacred spot. And she said, I'm doing a headstand. I am going to go ahead and have sacred spot upside down. And I thought that was
on my head.
And I just thought that was so fun. So imagine that you could kind of curl over your bed, right? Maybe your knees are still on the bed, but your head is upside down. Why not try some really creative, outrageous positions? So There you go. We've got those 7 ways to bring more passion into your life for the new year. And really, we gave you a lot more ideas than just those 7 topics. But have a conversation with your sweetie or start to plan some surprise dates where you bring these ideas to the table. And then tell us how they go. You know, we love hearing also mishaps, disaster stories that are especially funny, and also all your success stories. And we will be right along with you exploring these because we want more passion in the new year as well.
Absolutely. Have an amazing New Year's, everyone, and an incredible 2024 ahead. We're so excited to see what unfolds for Sex Reimagined and for you this coming year.
And one thing you can do to make our year especially wonderful, special, and successful is to give us a comment, give us a 5-star review, subscribe to the channel, because this is how we get the word out. So if you love our content, please, please, please share it with your friends and family.
Much love all.
Love, love, love.
Thanks for tuning in. This episode was hosted by Tantric Sex Master Coach and Positive Psychology Facilitator Leah Piper, as well as by Chinese and Functional Medicine Doctor and Taoist Sexology Teacher Dr. Willow Brown. Don't forget, your comments, likes, subscribes, and suggestions matter. Let's realize this new world together.